So I'll give a translation of the song with interspersed commentary. This song is describing the transcendental activities and qualities of Sri Nityananda Prabhu, who is Balaram Avatar. Brajendra Nandan Jai Shachi Sutta Hoilo Shai Balarama Hoilo Nitai. Just as Krishna has come as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so also Balaram has come as Nityananda. So the principal quality that's being praised here is his extraordinary compassion upon the fallen souls. Today is Nityananda Trayodashi, that is why especially we're today focusing on Lord Nityananda Prabhu, Sri Nityananda Prabhu. So the first quality that's described here about Lord Nityananda is akrodha, non-anger. He is not angry. Now Nityananda Prabhu is Balaram Avatar. And those who are familiar with the topics of Lord Balaram described in Srimad Bhagavatam will know that Balaram can get very angry. For instance, once there was Rukmi, the brother of Rukmini, who is, of course is the wife of Krishna. He was cheating in a game of dice, and Balaram didn't like that, so he picked up his famous club and smashed Rukmi on the head, and that was the last mention of Rukmi in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam, Rukmi and another time Balaram was dancing with the gopis, with his own gopis, in the Vrindavan forest, and he called Yamuna to come close so that he could bathe in her. But she didn't want to come because she thought he was drunk. So in anger, he, using his famous plough, he's famous as Gadadhar, which means the holder of the club, and also as Haladha, the holder of the plough. So with his plough, he wanted to drag Yamuna close to him, at which she became very afraid and automatically came before him. On another occasion, when the son of Krishna named Samba kidnapped the daughter of Duryodhana named Lakshmana from her Swayamvar, then all the great heroes of the Kuru dynasty became very angry and forcibly captured Samba and imprisoned him. And Balaram, he was friends with both sides of the family, both the Kauravas and the Pandavas. So he went the Kauravas and the Yadus. So on this occasion, actually, even Yudhishthira and company, they sided with Duryodhana. So at this time when the Kauravas and the Pandavas together spoke badly of the Yadavas, of the Yadus, of the Yadu Vangsha, considering them inferior, which means they also considered Krishna inferior, Balaram became very angry. And at that time, using his plough, he also started to drag the capital of the Kauravas, namely Hastinapur, toward the Yamuna. So these are some examples of Balaram's transcendental anger. But Nityananda Prabhu is here described as akrodha, non-angry. But actually in the descriptions of Nityananda Prabhu we find also instances of his transcendental anger. But such transcendental anger is far preferable to mundane non-violence. As is evidenced by the whole message of Bhagavad Gita. As is evidenced by the whole message of Bhagavad Gita, in which Lord Krishna induced Arjuna to the pacifistic Arjuna, he was induced to fight by Krishna. Senayo Ubhayo Madhye, in the middle of the two armies, Arjuna suddenly became a pacifist. Hanuman is famous for always chanting Ram Nam very peacefully. But what he's really famous for is for acting as the chief fighter in the Vanara army of Lord Ram and burning Lanka. So when it's stated here, akrodha, that Lord Nityananda is not angry, this means that he has no mundane anger. Mundane anger is one of the three gates to hell. Trividham narakasyedam dwaram nashanam atmanaha kama krodhas tata lobhas tasmat trayam etat tyajet. That Lord Krishna says there are three gates to hell, namely Kam, Krodh and Lobh. Therefore, these three should be given up. And Dwaram Nashanam, they destroy the self. But the anger of Bhagavan, just like yesterday we were discussing the anger of Varaha Devi against Hiranyaksha, that is not only not contaminating, but hearing about it and appreciating it is most purifying. So Nityananda Prabhu is described as Akrodha Paramananda. He is situated in topmost bliss. Even when he is sometimes apparently angry, that is another expression of his transcendental bliss. He's called Nityananda, which means always happy. This is only Bhagavan and those who are dedicated to Bhagavan can have permanent happiness. Everyone wants to be happy. But the happiness of this material world is Vidyapati, the poet Vidyapati has described as like a drop of water in a desert. Samudram, no, Marustala. Marustale, ek bindu. Like a drop of water in the desert. Just like if you're in Rayalaseema, out in away from any town, in Jeshta, in the summer months, you'll become very thirsty. It's very hot here. But there's no water. Rayalaseema is dry. So you're dying from dryness. And you're calling out, Niru, Niru, Niru. And someone comes and says, don't worry, I brought some water for you. So just open your mouth and put out your tongue. And you get one dropper and drop one drop of water on your tongue. So it's water, but it doesn't satisfy. So like that, the happiness of this material world is we're suffering terribly, and the so-called happiness is insufficient to fulfill our need. And just to stretch the example further, if that water, that one drop of water also is mixed with potassium cyanide, then the apparent, whatever tiny little pleasure we can get from it ultimately destroys us. Poison. It's very terrible poison, we can say that. Visham. Visham is one word which means very great and alright. Okay. So we can. What is the happiness in this material world? In the modern age, they're advertising, modern progress, it's so great. You see, now we have so many machines to make us happy.
ఈ ఆధునిక ప్రపంచంలో వాళ్ళు ప్రకటనలు చేస్తున్నారు. మనం ఆధునికంగా ఎన్నో అభివృద్ధి చెందాము, మనకు ఎన్నో యంత్రాలు ఉన్నాయి ఆనందించడానికి.
But actually in the modern age, people are in more anxiety than ever before.
అలా చూస్తే ఇప్పుడు ఆధునిక యుగంలో ప్రజలు ఎక్కువ ఆందోళనలో ఉన్నారు పూర్వం ఉన్న ప్రజలతో పోల్చుకుంటే.
Previously in traditional society, people didn't have to worry about food. I mean, food was there.
పూర్వం పరిస్థితి చూస్తే ప్రజలు ఆహారం గురించి ఎప్పుడు భయపడేవారు కాదు. ఆహారం ఎక్కడ చూసినా దొరుకుతుండేది.
They didn't have to worry about employment. Everyone had some employment.
ఉద్యోగం గురించి పని గురించి ఎవరు ఆందోళన చెందేవారు కాదు. అందరికీ ఏదో ఒక పని ఉండేది.
Of course, everyone says the caste system is very bad. And of course, there were various discrepancies within it. But one thing, everyone had some employment. The barber's son became a barber, the potter's son became a potter, and so on. But nowadays, people, they have to move a long way from their home, and also everyone had a place to live. There was no big anxiety for residents. But modern life means everyone's in anxiety over the basic necessities. Just like Radha Khan Prabhu here, he studied in Yemmiganur. Huh? Oh, was it? But you were here for some time? Oh, I see. I see. All right. He studied in Kurnool. And he has a good job in Bangalore. Good job means what's considered a good job? What is considered a good job? But even in the good job, people are always in anxiety. Oh, the company may fold up, or they may throw me out. And everyone, you have to work so hard just to get basic food. And for residents, you have to take a loan, and then you're always in anxiety for paying it off over many years. Previously, people didn't work so hard, and they had enough food, and they had a residence, and they didn't have to get in a lot of anxiety. They didn't have to wait until they were like 40 to get married, or the girls until they were 30. Life went on very naturally. Of course, I'm not criticizing Radha Khan Prabhu. It's just, everyone sucked into the modern system. What can you do? But I'm just giving it as an example that even the people with the so-called good jobs, they're also, it's not just the rickshaw drivers, but everyone is in anxiety. So, in modern life, everyone is in anxiety, there's great stress, there's tremendous hard work just for the basic necessities. We don't see so many young men in this town. They've all gone somewhere else, presumably. Bangalore, Hyderabad, Bombay.
ఈ పట్టణంలో చూస్తే మనము ఎక్కువ మంది యువకులు కనిపించడం లేదు. ఒకవేళ వాళ్ళు బెంగళూరు, హైదరాబాద్, బాంబే ఇట్లాంటి స్థలాలకు వెళ్ళిపోయి ఉంటారు.
They think that it's undignified to stay in a small town.
ఇక్కడ చిన్న పట్టణంలో ఉంటే మనకు గుర్తింపు రాదు అని వాళ్ళు అనుకుంటారు.
So everyone's going to the big cities and working very hard, and if they can get some work, and having lots of anxiety and thinking that this is a better way of life.
అందరూ కూడా పెద్ద పెద్ద నగరాలకు వెళ్ళిపోయి ఎంతో కష్టపడి ధనం సంపాదించేసి దాన్ని ఖర్చు పెట్టుకుంటూ అనుభవిస్తూ ఇదే గొప్ప ఆనందం అనుకుంటున్నారు.
But Srila Prabhupada recommended live simply, and chant Hare Krishna.
కానీ ప్రభుపాద వారు మనకు నిర్దేశించారు, సిఫార్సు చేశారు, సాధారణమైన జీవితం జీవించి హరే కృష్ణ మంత్రం జపించు.
So this is the message of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu.
ఇది శ్రీ చైతన్య మహాప్రభు మరియు నిత్యానంద ప్రభు యొక్క సందేశం.
Nityananda Prabhu is described here as Abhimana Shunya. Anyway, you can understand in Telugu also what that means. Abhimana Shunya.
ఇక్కడ నిత్యానంద ప్రభుని అభిమాన శూన్య అని వర్ణించబడ్డాడు.
Even though he's sometimes demonstrates his transcendental anger at the atheists, he does so he has no mundane sense of this abhiman. So it's described, he would wander around the town or the village, and he would go to every door, and especially to the persons who are considered very low in human society. In Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan movement, there is no consideration one has to be high caste or very wealthy or very highly educated. There is no distinction of caste or any mundane distinction. Everyone is welcome to join Sankirtan. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would go to every door and distribute the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Now, from external consideration, Nityananda Prabhu was from a high caste Brahmana family. From Kanya Kubja Brahmana. Formerly, there was the Pancha Gaur and the Pancha Dravida. India was divided into these 10 areas. Pancha Gaur. So one of the Pancha Gaur, or one of the areas of North India, was Kanya Kubja, which corresponds to, you could say, approximately modern UP. So even though he was from a very high class background, he would go to the houses of the outcast people. Now, according to caste rules, which were very strict up until recently, the outcast people cannot come in the area where the Brahmanas' houses are.
చేసి కొంతకాలం ముందు వరకు కూడా మనం చూస్తుంటాం.
For instance, the people who work with leather, they're not allowed in the agraharam.
ఉదాహరణకి చర్మం పనులు చేసే వాళ్ళు అగ్రహారంలో సంచరించడానికి అనుమతి లేదు.
But Nityananda Prabhu went to their area.
అయితే నిత్యానంద ప్రభు వాళ్ళ స్థలానికి వెళ్ళాడు.
And shocked all the caste conscious people.
అప్పుడు ఈ కుల వ్యవస్థ అనే చైతన్యంలో ఉన్న వాళ్ళందరికీ కూడా ఇది దిగ్భ్రాంతి కలిగించింది.
And although such people are considered unfit for any form of dharmic anusthanam or religious practices, he would say, now you take Hare Krishna Mahamantra, chant the Mahamantra.
అటువంటి వ్యక్తులు ఎటువంటి ధార్మిక కార్యక్రమాలు చేయడానికి అర్హత లేనప్పటికీ కూడా నిత్యానంద ప్రభు వాళ్ళ దగ్గరికి వెళ్ళి తీసుకోవాలి హరే కృష్ణ మంత్రాన్ని.
Or rather, he would beg them to please accept the holy name. He would beg them with a straw between his teeth, which is now this is not practiced nowadays, but that's a traditional sign of expressing great humility. So he would say to everyone, you can purchase me, you simply worship Gaur Hari, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by doing so you will purchase me. Eto bole Nityananda bhume gadi jai. Saying this, Nityananda Prabhu would roll on the ground. Just looking like a golden mountain that was rolling in the dust. So out of great ecstasy, Nityananda Prabhu would roll in the dust. So Lochanda says that such an avatar, what is such a munificent avatar, anyone who does not have any attraction, whose attraction to Nityananda never awakened, such a person, Lochanda says, about him, he's simply a sinful person. And he says about him that simply Elo or Gelo. His life you can describe, he got born and he died. There's nothing meaningful in his whole life. So people should know about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda. All over the world today, devotees, members of the ISKCON Hare Krishna movement, they are celebrating this Nityananda Trayodashi. In our temples, there will be big festivals. With lots of kirtan. And especially on this day, in many centers, they like to go outside in the streets of the cities, chanting the holy names, in pursuance of the practice of Nityananda Prabhu, who did this. So gradually all these practices should be introduced here in this town and in this taluka.
ఇదే విధానాన్ని కూడా మనము క్రమక్రమంగా ఈ పట్టణంలో ఈ తాలూకాలో మనము అమలు పరచాలి.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu predicted Prithivite Ache Jotanagara Gram Savatra Pracha Hoibe Moranam.
చైతన్య మహాప్రభు తన జ్యోతిషం చెప్పారు, ప్రతి పల్లెటూరులోనూ ప్రతి నగరంలోనూ ప్రతి గ్రామంలోనూ నా పేరు ప్రచారం అవుతుంది.
And through the agency especially of Srila Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of ISKCON, this is coming true.
ఇది వాస్తవం అవుతుంది, ముఖ్యంగా ప్రభుపాద వారి ప్రాతినిధ్యం ద్వారా జరుగుతుంది.
Srila Prabhupada is empowered with the potency of Nityananda Prabhu.
శ్రీల ప్రభుపాద వారు నిత్యానంద ప్రభు చే శక్తిగా ఆవిర్భవించినటువంటి వారు.
To move among the most fallen people.
ఆయన ఎంతో దిగజారిన ప్రజల మధ్య సంచరించారు.
Actually, Nityananda Prabhu is famous as Patit Pavan Avatar for saving the most fallen. But even the most fallen people in India are still more elevated than the people in the West, spiritually.
నిత్యానంద ప్రభు పతిత పావనాన్ని పేరు పొందారు, అంటే పరమ పతితులను కూడా ఉద్ధరించేవాడు. ఈ భారతదేశంలో ఉన్న పతితులను పాశ్చాత్య దేశాల్లో ఉన్న పతితులతో పోల్చుకుంటే వీళ్ళు ఎంతో ఉన్నతమైన వారు. ఇది ఆధ్యాత్మిక కోణం నుంచి.
People in the West are supposedly advanced materially, but their spiritual status is dismal. Dismal means gloomy or not very good, you could say. Lamentable.
భౌతికంగా ఎంతో అభివృద్ధి చెందినప్పటికీ వారి యొక్క ఆధ్యాత్మిక స్థానం వచ్చేసి ఎంతో పశ్చాత్తాపం చెందవలసిన స్థాయి అవుతుంది.
But Srila Prabhupada has brought the transcendental light and bliss of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu's teachings all over the world. And thus, by the grace of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu received through Srila Prabhupada, all over the world, chanting is going on. Which chanting? I just said chanting. You jumped ahead there. No. I'm saying chanting. Then which chanting? Actually, how you don't have the word chanting. Chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This kirtan. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we request you all to take up this chanting of the Maha Mantra as a daily function in your lives. Read Srila Prabhupada's books. Follow the directions given therein. Become a pure Vaishnava. And in this way, prepare yourself to exit from this miserable material world. And enter the Nitya Dhama of Nityananda. Nityananda Dhama, which means Golok Dhama. We can all go by His grace. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Any question, please? Well, if there's no question, then we presume that you agree with everything we say. So therefore you please join with us in chanting Hare Krishna. So now we'll distribute a little prasadamu. Few books are available there in English and Bengali. I'd like to thank all the Yemmiganur Prabhu and all the other devotees here for receiving us nicely. It's very nice to see how his family and others are practicing Krishna consciousness at home. I'd like to thank all the Yemmiganur Prabhu and all the other devotees here for receiving us nicely. It's very nice to see how his family and others are practicing Krishna consciousness at home. We'd like to see more people seriously practicing Krishna consciousness. By chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra daily, offering all their food to Krishna, and being fully serious about fulfilling the purpose of human life. Amarama Prabhu was suggesting, and I strongly endorse that if the local devotees here, those who are committed to Srila Prabhupada's teachings, can distribute his books systematically, that will be a great step forward in the preaching of Krishna consciousness in this area. So try to organize that. Nityananda Prabhu is most merciful, so you also please be very merciful to the local people by giving them Srila Prabhupada's books.